right here.
You can push the table out if you want to. You can push the table out if you want to.
No, okay, thanks. Put one of these tables on my deck. Got any timeline at all, you think? Would you mind?
I'm trying to.
Spring or something?
I'm trying to push for the 25th for this month. I'm trying.
I would say as long as you, I mean, I know you want to get open, but end of March, first of April,
The summer,
spring
right.
break.
Spring, right.
That might even be better for you than people, you know.
You're right. You're so
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think God is leading that way.
Definitely about May. That's when the program starts to pick up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got cold again today, though.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah. It wasn't it?
Went from 70s and 80s to this.
Wow. I couldn't believe how hot it was the weekend. Like you said, 70. It was 70 here.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I think they said if it was 71, it would have broke a record or something like that. I can't remember for sure, but they're talking about on the news.
One station actually said it was like 74. It
Oh,
did
really?
break a record.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it was then.
Yeah. 71, I think, was the old record.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you ready to go on another one?
Oh my God. Yeah. We were looking at it. $848 is the total for if we take it next year for the same time, which is really cheap.
That's not bad.
6 days, all your food
Don't
included.
care about that.
And 2 of the private islands included.
Huh?
2 of the private islands is included with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the fun thing too, isn't it? The private island.
Wait, everything's included. You get food, all that. Good morning, good morning.
Hey, Cody.
Morning, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're on a trip. I had the same.
I'm still
It's your normal every year since January.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that too.
It's cold.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his money back. He said it was terrible.
Was he on a cruise or?
Yeah, on the cruise, the Carnival.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I know. He said it was awful. And I said, must have been bad if you didn't like it and you're stuck on a boat.
Yeah, that's.
You deserved
Good morning. Good morning.
it. Glad you're back.
I'm glad to be back. I wish it was a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the edge because I might. I don't
Oh, you can pull that table
I'll have
out.
my ankle out next Tuesday.
You what?
You can pull that table out.
The yellow one?
Yeah, you can pull it out.
You know what to do? All right.
Yeah. It's up to you, but I don't want people thinking about it.
Cool. See how the friends are for?
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Next Tuesday.
Alan, what's the status on the restaurant?
It's been a setback, the city.
It's not a full.
It's what?
Yeah, the city kind of set it back a little bit.
I got
You know,
pre-op stuff.
So the stuff with kitchen needs
So
to
they
be
wanted it kind of more or less.
taken
scoped
care of,
and stuff like
which
that.
was not what we needed, so the owner of the building has,
Yeah, both sides.
you know, because, good morning.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully it'll.
suppression system was not suppressing.
Oh, yeah.
What happened was someone came into another oven where because the way the suppression system was suppression. He told me, I fix one.
So I'm interested.
I'm not gonna put $5.
Hey, someone in.
So he said that.
Don't cause trouble.
Sorry. That's my nature, brother. Yeah, I already know.
God is saying that I'm not sure what God.
I know. That's fine. I got mine in the truck because I gotta go to Port Water. That's why I gotta go for this. One of these three. It's just a free. Next Tuesday.
So right now, it's.
I'll go back there.
Well,
Because you be with it, the next thing you know.
yeah. Yes.
My son's on full.
How about you? How's your weekend? You should, you sign it.
Perfect weather all the time. No wind, no rain. Well, we got rain in the morning.
That's why.
They calm weather.
So it's getting harder.
That was my first time. I was looking for y'all, but I knew it was tonight.
Oh, yes, I did.
I see sushi.
And I asked, they're kind of close.
How's things moving?
We've been told to do this.
We're all recording, so you have to say it.
I know it's right.
Everyone's saying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't just come in. And then I want to see it.
Well, this time of year.
What time is that gonna be? Good morning.
Can I sign in now or you're passing around?
Yeah, it's over on the yellow table. Whoever signs in, if not, I'll pass it around.
Right, right.
He's been good. I haven't seen him in a week. Always
So you can't come in here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cody. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for the help the other day.
For sure, absolutely.
We got across the finish line. Yeah, we did pretty well. Thanks for your mom's help too. Appreciate
Oh, yeah, did she eat something?
it. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
It's like pulling teeth and something with her.
All good. Yeah. I mean, she was out back enjoying her weekend, so I really appreciate her time. So
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, but thanks for having me today.
Yeah, we might have you as a guest speaker if you,
Yeah, call me up for a couple minutes. I'll just talk about the clean sweep.
okay.
Yeah.
You want to speak today?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll rest it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Good morning.
What you doing?
Right, right, right.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Peter's around, I know he was probably.
Okay, and they don't have internet. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Those days are over.
I got you. And we still got about 4 minutes before people start trickling in, but if y'all could sign in at this front piece or pass it around, that'd be great.
Sign up. Everybody sign in. No, you're here.
Oh, right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Me
too. I saw the sheet.
Well, they do the same thing. Or something. It doesn't seem no matter what. Or what quarterback is something. Hello, how are you doing? So far, how about you?
Didn't realize you were away. I missed you.
Yes, back.
And you had sunshine. That's good. Yeah.
Everybody's so quiet. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes because it's just not quite 10 yet, but you're free to talk. We're not in silence.
I'm back. He's in here.
Hey, how are you? That's a good thing.
I'm good. I'm good.
Alrighty, guys, it's a little after 10, so if you haven't signed in, I'm gonna pass around this booklet. Please sign in. If you're a block captain, just check yes or no. If you're not, just leave it blank. If you don't get a chance to sign in, please just do it before you leave. It's just how I track how many people are here. I'm gonna try to make this meeting kind of quick. I always say that, but we always end up going an hour or more. But I did go ahead and pick the next meeting because it's been pretty repetitive. We all agree the second Monday of every month. So it just makes it easy if we just keep it second Monday of every month. And now we record the video, so if you can't make it to one of them, you can always go back and watch it, and I will always take notes, of course. So with that being said, is anybody opposed to always keeping it the second Monday of every month, except for December? That's what we see. So the next meeting will be Monday, February 9th, 2026 at 10 a.m. It will be at the KUF Marketplace Resource Center, which is right behind Buckroe Baptist, those two big tall buildings off Pembroke. If you're not sure where that's at, I will post the address. And I'll probably likely post a picture because it'll be our first time ever being there, just so everybody knows where we'll be at. And we'll also be on YouTube Live, of course. You're welcome to ask questions on there. You can add comments or you can email them to our email address, just in case you can't be that week. We'll start off with the police stats with Officer Brown and Sergeant Burton, if you guys could.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope everybody's staying safe, staying away from whatever sickness is going around that put me out for 2 weeks. But I do have you all's numbers from 30 days back, so from December 12th up until today's date. The numbers were not too bad. You all had 82 calls for service with 3 reports taken. The 3 reports that were taken one was a theft of a bicycle that happened on Tappan Avenue. There was a domestic assault between family that the report was taken, and there was a car broken into at Highland Avenue. Some other things that happened, there were some shots fired calls. There were 5 of those. I looked into them, and they were all just calls of, there was 2 calls for shots fired in the area of Buckroe Beach. Officers checked the area, nothing found. There were 4 to 5 shots heard in the area of Tappan Avenue. Officers checked that area, nothing found. All the shots were just like, 3 or 4 shots, but nothing. Officers checked the area, but no results, nothing found. You all did have some suspicious activities in the area, which were 2 gentlemen that were walking around in the area of Tappan Avenue. Officers went over there, but they weren't doing anything, nothing to be reported. You all had some parking complaints, 2 911 hangups. When the officers went for the 911 hangups, they stated that they were accidental calls. There were 3 medical calls of people having some medical issues. 16 all others, which are just like people calling in, asking questions to speak to an officer, alarms and different things of that nature. But other than that, there was nothing else that I had on the numbers for you all from 30 days back from today's date to the 12th. I just wanted to really look into the shots fired complaints, the 911 hangups, and the suspicious activities. And also, officers have done 26 keep checks in the last 30 days. So the keep checks are when officers drive through the area, check the area throughout the Buckroe Beach area, because this circles the whole Buckroe Beach area. So, like I said, the numbers, there wasn't anything that I'm asking you all to look out for besides making sure you're locking your doors. If you see anybody out there walking out at night, things like that, kids hanging around, call it in and let us know so we can get out there and take care of any situations you might have. I'm glad you all, we got through the new year with people being safe. There were gunshots and things like that, fireworks probably, but that's to be expected everywhere throughout all cities. But even then, I still told people to call it in so that we can still check on it and see if there's any violations that we can enforce on those different days. So other than that, does anybody have any questions for me? Yes.
Do you have any, thing about Buckroe Shopping Center area? Because I thought I saw something about near City Trends or Family Dollar or somebody got shot or.
Yes, that was not at that location.
Oh, okay.
That was actually, that incident took place down the street, towards around, Reynolds Drive area. And the victim ended up going over to City Trends to make contact with the police. So that was kind of a misconception with the news because everybody's thinking that incident took place there, but it didn't.
So that's why I wasn't in the,
Correct.
that's when I started, but it didn't come up, so. Yes.
What are the boundaries of these complaints that you consider Buckroe Beach?
So I circle a little bit of Old Buckroe Road, all of Buckroe Beach, all the way down to the far end. And then I go around all of First Street. I just try to, it's basically, so on the map, it's just like a big circle. And so I don't want to go too far and then have like Phoebus and everybody else in there. So once you see, like, I circle everything that, probably up until, you go up until about,
Atlantic Avenue.
yes, Atlantic first. We don't,
And this side of Old Buckroe?
yes, but we don't want to go too far out because then it'll jot up the numbers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you. Have a nice.
Thank you, officers. Everybody's quiet today. We did have a last minute guest speaker, so I'm going to change the agenda just a little bit. I'm going to introduce Joe Griffith, the Phoebus Neighborhood Commissioner. If he could come up and just speak for a minute.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Like Cody said, my name is Joe Griffith. I serve as the neighborhood commissioner for Phoebus. My counterpart here is Kathy Rogers. She's the neighborhood commissioner for Buckroe. I'm in the final year of my second 4-year term. Over the past 7 years, I've been able to rally people around a people-centered approach, which is very similar to what Cody does here, and that's to get people together to enjoy civic pride and bring more people into the conversation, so you guys can get towards your goals faster and make it a safer, more prosperous community. And so one of the things that we did during the pandemic, when people were feeling isolated and kind of cut off from the rest of the neighborhood, was a community cleanup. When those first couple of months, we figured it's getting warmer, let's get people out of their houses, let's get back to normal. And this is also a great way to get the kids out. And this community cleanup was just called something simple, a clean sweep. And so we started in the center of Phoebus and just worked out as far as we could that day. And we did it in celebration of Earth Day too, so it was at the end of April. And so for about 3 hours, the VFW partnered with us and gave us food afterwards, but that was really fantastic because when you have this community partners, it makes it so much easier to get to your goals. And so at the end of those 3 hours, we counted up how much we cleaned, as far as bags, but we also counted up the square mileage, which was just under about 1 square mile. It wasn't a lot. But it was a nice way to show the community that they had a real impact. And I matched it up to a real world place, like a city state like Monaco, and I said, this is the place, this is how big you cleaned up that day. And so it was so impactful that we did, the next year after that, the space grew bigger. We started getting towards our boundaries of Phoebus, like in East Hampton. We started cleaning up parts of Fort Monroe, and that's when we enjoyed getting together with other communities. Of course, like Fort Monroe has Fort Monroe Authority and the people who rent there. Last year, Cody and the cleanup crew actually started cleaning up during that morning, like early in the morning. They started cleaning up the beach like usual. And so we counted all that together as part of the square mileage, and we cleaned up an area the size of Old Town Key West, which is really important because it's like, we're cleaning up a lot of the city east of the Hampton River at this point, and that's only happening like one day a year. I figured this year is the 6th year coming up, and it would be nice to get all of the civic organizations across the city to participate that day. And I know I can count on y'all because like you do cleanup's fantastic down here. Like you love your place, you love your neighborhood, and it just is a natural fit. So I'd love to have you all back. I'd love to have the bill involved this year. I'd love to have like the Foxville Neighborhood Center and then the people that enjoy the programs up there to participate too. And that way we can reach across the city that day. And I really think that's a media-worthy event. When you're cleaning up most of your city, that's really important. So the next steps is I'm going to set up a job form later today, and I'll send that over to Cody, and I'll send it out to all the civic groups, and we'll get everybody signed up. And what you guys will get that day, in addition to the food you might enjoy if you go down to the VFW and get orientation that morning, we'll have breakfast. We'll have, a light breakfast. We can't do pancakes and waffles and all that stuff. But at the end, we'll have hot dogs and hamburgers at 12 o'clock. We'll have a raffle. We'll have free t-shirts for every participant, sponsored by the Peace Partnership. And so sign up. Make sure that you guys spread the word because it's really, really impactful. And it's a great way to bring people out in your neighborhood who might not have participated in the past. And that's that whole civic pride thing. That's going to be fantastic. If you build on that every year, there's less breathing room for crime. It just has a myriad impact on a positive impact on your neighborhood. So, anybody have any questions for me before I sit down?
Do you have the date offhand?
Yes, April 25th, 2026. It's a Saturday morning. And what will happen is like you'll sign up on the job form, and then I'll send out information about where to meet, which will be at the VFW. 8:30 is orientation. We just go over quick best practices for safety. And then we all disperse to our assigned locations. And I'll give you guys, what streets we'll be cleaning up. And if you're, with the neighborhood watch, you're actually cleaning up the beach. And then afterwards, Cody, you can just let me know, how far you guys got out there. And then that'll be it.
It went really well last year too, by the way. It was great. We did ours a little bit earlier. I think we started at 6 and we went till 9 like our typical. But I think everybody got free shirts that joined ours as well from you guys. So.
Definitely, yeah. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Any questions before I sit down? I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
All right, and our last, yes, thank you, Joe. Our last guest speakers from Pathway Realty Group is Trevor Spears and Peter Basiliou. Did I say it correctly?
You did, well done.
Okay, I was really struggling. They are specialists in coastal community developments, and they do have a presentation, so they will be using the TV still, I'm guessing.
We can hook up to it.
Okay, if they can hook up to it, but you guys have the floor.
Do you have anything my wider or
Well, while they're figuring that out, it's gonna take a while. I'm definitely not a tech guy, so Peter will let that take care of that. I'm Trevor Spears from Pathway Realty Group. My business partner Peter Vasquez, also with Pathway Realty Group. Thanks so much for having us. Thanks, Cody. We had a great conversation with Cody. About a month right before the holiday break, and he was kind enough to ask us, to come and speak to you guys. So we're pretty excited about it. And I watched a couple of you guys' YouTube videos too. It's like the light is kind of weird in the videos, so you didn't see. I don't know if this is a big crowd. It seemed like a smaller crowd on the one that I saw, but this is great. This is a great amount of people. I mean, this is all the Civic League meetings we go to in different cities. This is as big, if not bigger, than most of the Civic Leagues. So, well done, Buckroe. Yeah, well done. So I'll kind of give you a little explanation, a little introduction of who we are, and then I'll kind of give you a background of everything that we're going to go into. So Peter and I are we're Virginia-based development company. We're veteran-owned. I'm a Marine, and we've been doing developments here for a very, very long time. A lot of developments that we've done, some of the more successful ones that we've done recently have been in Ocean View. Chuck Rigney, if any of you guys remember Chuck Rigney, he was head of economic development, terrific guy, worked with him a lot in Norfolk. And some of the deals that we were involved in Ocean View and in Norfolk, he looked at Buckroe when he first got here, this is pre-COVID. And he said, you know what, this would be a great match for these guys. So he called me up and he said, Trevor, you guys did such a great job in Ocean View. Come over and look at Buckroe. Are you familiar with it? I am familiar with Buckroe. I've been here many times from surfing when the hurricanes come through. You get about an hour where your waves, if you guys have ever seen a tree have, I mean, they're A-frames, beautiful. I lived in Hawaii for 5 years. Every bit as good as Hawaii. It's here and then it's gone, but the great thing is nobody's out there, so you get some really good waves. But I knew how fantastic it was here. You guys have had some a really good development that H.H. Hunt did years and years ago. I think that was like a parade of homes, some beautiful homes right there. And I've always wondered, why hasn't Buckroe, worked? Why haven't there been more development? Because there's tons of land back here. So anyway, Chuck brought us out here. We were working with Chuck, and we were working with HHRA, and we were looking at this project as a development. So we started going down the road of what would work here, what's the infrastructure like, all these things. And we got pretty far down the road and then COVID hit. So, the whole world sort of shut down, excuse me. And so we kind of put it on a shelf, as did I'm sure Hampton, because everybody's like, what are we doing? We had a development over in Ocean View, a pretty big one, and we've done all the infrastructure work where once you have the infrastructure work, you're kind of on the clock when it comes to the banks and stuff like that. And we were really worried. COVID from a developer standpoint was pretty good because, once the dust settled on materials and stuff like that, you could develop and interest rates were low and, people had money, thankfully people had money, and that was pretty good. So you go through COVID, we get to the other side of it, thank goodness. We get to the other side, and so we reached back out to Chuck to say, hey, what's going on? Are you guys still interested in speaking to us? And they were. So we started working with the city, your city planning department, with your economic development department, and we went down this road for quite some time and came up with what we thought was a fantastic development idea. And again, it was in concert with people from the city. We were going to have townhomes, single-family homes, a luxury apartment building with a parking garage and a hotel. So we thought that we were the only ones that they were talking to, but I guess the last second, another group came in and they put together theirs. So we pitched to council a couple of times. We thought our project was good. We got great, terrific feedback, and council went in another direction with, we found out afterwards, was a low-income builder from Richmond. And I don't know, maybe because their project, they had a lot more density, I think 2 to 3 times as much density as we had, and I think they had 2 parking garages. We kind of scratched our heads and found out about it afterwards, like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, but if they could do it, that's fantastic for the community. For whatever reason, we don't know anything about it, for whatever reason, over 2 years, they were unable to perform. And so the city reached back out to us and said, hey, are you guys still interested? And we were. We're very bullish on Buckroe, we're very bullish on Hampton. So we went down the road with council, I'm sorry, not with council, but with the city again. This time we drilled down even more. We did a lot more work. We really dug in for about 18 months just working on this. We spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money. I'll just give you, Peter, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $368,000 to $380,000 all in on this project. That's how bullish we were on it. And again, once we got to all these meetings, we had weekly meetings with the city, sometimes multiple times with the planning department, with all the planning directors that have come in. I know it's a tough transition for the city when a new planning director comes in, but it seemed like it kept being the next person in line, so it was a pretty easy transition for us. So we went through all that. We were under what's called a right of entry, which is Hampton's version of an option or an exclusive option where they can only deal with us. In most cities that we've dealt with in projects we've done before, and our MO is, while we're working on it at the beginning, is to come out and speak to the community. Because as much as we think we know what we're doing, all developers think they know what they're doing, it's ultimately the community that's going to sell your product or get you tenants in your luxury apartment buildings, or get tenants for the commercial buildings that you're going to put in the commercial space. It's ultimately the community that does that. So we like to get feedback from the community. Sometimes we're able to apply it, other times we're not able to apply it, but we're happy to explain to you, hey, that's a great idea, this is why it works. Or if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work, and we'll explain to you why. Usually it's a symptom of economics why it wouldn't work. Under this right of entry, we were prohibited from speaking to the community. We don't like doing that, but again, that's whatever the contract, our option was, we had to obey that. So we went down the road, we did a lot of work, but we go through the community and we're familiar with the community and how they do things and the aesthetics of the community, the architecture. We come out here a lot. You guys never would have noticed that we try to come out here a lot, especially in the summer when everyone's out, to try to get the vibe. What's Buckroe all about? What are the people like? What do they do when they're here? Because it's a different vibe here than it is in Ocean View, right? I'm taking similar areas. Ocean View, it's a different vibe in Ocean View. Then if you go to the ocean front, it's a different vibe at the ocean front. So you try to figure out, how that works and how the community works so that you can design things correctly so that they'll work. So anyway, we went through this entire process, then we started our negotiations on price and some of the things that we needed from the city and other things that the city, had pushed back on and said, we need to do this. And it was, a fruitful negotiation. Obviously, how any negotiation starts, we started here, the city started here. We kind of came in here and then the city sort of came in here, and after negotiating back and forth, and it didn't take all that long. I feel like we kind of got on the same level. And I mean, it's never right exactly on the same level, right? But they're happy and disappointed, we were happy and disappointed. So we got that, from what we understand, the head of economic development, Leonard Sledge, who was incredibly helpful on this entire process, went in and pitched it to council. And council, I guess, decided, this is what we're told, council decided that there's an old study. So if any of you guys are familiar with the old master plan from Buckroe, I don't know how old it is. I know that it's older than the best time ever to have been a developer, which up until about 4 years ago was the previous, 10 to 12 years. It was the absolute best time to develop at any time in modern history in our country since World War II. So everybody came back from World War II. It was the best time. That plan existed. Nobody came and developed in Buckroe. There was one group that we're familiar with because we used the same engineers, a very big group who looked at it and went down the road. Thankfully, they did that because we were able to use a lot of their intel. But they're a huge developer and they passed on it. But other than that, I don't know. There may have been other developers who dipped their toe in, but nobody, from what we understand, went down that road. We went down the road. They decided that they wanted to go and look at that go back and redo that master plan and see if they can come up with something different because I guess they feel, what we were told, they feel they get one shot at this. And to us, it's kind of like, yeah, you only get one shot, but here's your shot. We've got a dream team ready to develop. That said, obviously, we're very subjective when it comes to that. But again, we went down that road. We've been very committed. Now that right of entry no longer exists, and from what we understand, the city is going to redo that plan and then perhaps RFP it, which again, you do the RFP, developers who there haven't really been any other developers other than us, the other group that we talked about that they've gone with before, and then the earlier group. I don't know if any other developers were ever interested or would be interested. But again, that's water under the bridge. Now that we don't have that, the handcuffs where we're not able to speak to the community, first thing Peter and I looked at is like, we need to get out and speak to the community because we think what we put together is fantastic. Let's get out to the community and see if they think that what we put together is fantastic and work. Because you guys might say, no, this is terrible, we don't want it, and then for us, we're kind of like, okay, if the council wants to go down a different road and the community doesn't want it, then perhaps we're not the guys that should be doing it. That said, can you hook it up or? No. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I can kind of give you a brief, synopsis of what we were doing. And again, I'll just drone on and on and on, I've done it my entire life, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to throw your hand up and interrupt me. Doesn't matter, otherwise, I'll talk until I suck all the oxygen out of the room. Yes.
Define footprint.
Perfect, if you could hook up the TV, I would show you, but it's ultimately, so if you were to look at if he holds it up here, if he holds his computer up, you guys can probably see, but you have a lot of vacant land. You know, you have sort of, and I'll start centralized in the park area. You have that beautiful park area, and you have the 2 lots that have sort of sidewalks side of the side, right? And then you have 2 outside lots. One that is down at the end of this road, and then one on your resort. So it's those lots, those 2 outside lots right there, not the interior lots where the park is.
So you're not all the way down into the fishing pier.
Yes, all that vacant land around the fishing pier, all that vacant land there, around the seaside and the big lots that are open there. It kind of snakes all the way back to where that corner store is out there. Yes, so maybe I can show you, you can help describe it better, buddy. So it's, all these lots, this lot, all these lots here.
Can you tell us
That's
how
where
much
the
this?
apartments are, Mule Creek.
That's where the apartments are. So right before those apartments.
Yeah, like the trailer park.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, just so you guys know, we reached out to the owner of the trailer park a few years ago, and he said no. If you know anything about trailer parks, they're cash cows, so he had no interest in
The other lots up by that easy stop and go store.
That's right, it kind of goes up there, which is, the store is up here. So it's all this vacant land, again, Peter will pull this. You can pull it up, you guys can see. Oh, so we'll show you one way or the other. One way or the other, we'll show you that, whether we walk around with the computer or he's able to hook it up there. But what we propose to build ultimately in all this land is 38 single-family luxury homes, 181 luxury townhomes, market rate luxury apartments on Class A modern. Here we go. Here's our tech guy right here.
Great work.
Cody, thanks for that.
I have ways.
It's the young generation, these guys, the young generation, they can hook this stuff up. So, I'll keep going with that. 150 market rate luxury apartments with Class A modern amenities, about 10,000 square feet of retail space, a rooftop restaurant, bar, lounge on top of.
Can you hold up a second so we can get some clarity on it? So we can get understanding.
Let me show, so I'm gonna show you the lots, okay? And then we'll go one at a time. So this lot right here, okay? That's Bayshore Lane.
So can you show, is that fishing pier right
The
here?
fishing pier is right here.
There you go. Thank you.
Then you have this lot here. You have the apartment building right next door to it, that's not part of it. This lot on the corner. This lot right here. And this lot right here, in back of the store, in the farm.
So go back down,
Yes.
go back down to the fishing pier.
Right there?
Yes, sir. And now out to your left and down a little bit there. Is that?
This lot? Yes,
That's involved?
yes, I can show you.
That's okay. That's okay. My question.
Essentially, what you're doing, you want to use the old Bayshore Park, the old Gordon's Trailer Park, in the old area where the little small houses were, you got to move over to Woodland Road.
That's not fair, you gotta.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's the ocean, you said yes, it must
So
be.
this.
I assume you've been here for a while.
71 years.
Oh, there you go, okay.
My third house was second.
So you would know.
So again, just to review, this lot right here, this is the fishing pier. This lot, not the farm buildings, this lot right here, this lot behind the, store and the farm buildings. This lot is also proposed, and this lot on Buckroe.
So the apartments that's next door to Stop and Go, you mean y'all want to put luxury apartments and townhouses next to those? So y'all would put luxury townhouses behind those apartments next to Stop and Go?
So what you're saying is this apartments and Stop and Go?
Yes.
Right here?
Yes.
This would be townhouses.
Townhouses.
Yes. So we like finish the entire area.
So you think luxury apartment would go fit nice behind, those apartments look like low income apartments, right?
So, hang on, give me a minute. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and is anybody here, I kept mentioning, go ahead.
What do you propose on the corner of Buckroe and First Street?
Oh, we'll get to that, he'll tell you that in 1 second. But I know what you're saying, you look at that, and you're like, it's low income, it's not gonna work there, luxury. Okay, so I keep mentioning Ocean View. So are you guys familiar with Ocean View? Ocean View, for whatever issues you have in Buckroe, Ocean View is 1,000 times worse. I mean, my father was here in the Navy during Vietnam, and Ocean View was terrible back then too. I mean, it was dangerous. And two of my projects, I've had workers shot or shy. I mean, it was just insane. Gangs there, all kinds of stuff. And so when we went in there, people said, you're gonna have a lot of trouble out here. You take East Beach. East Beach is its own island, right? It's completely sort of encapsulated in its own little world. Because East Beach has done pretty well. And we said, you know what? We hear what you're saying, but we think it's going to work, and it did. And once you do that, and we'll get into that, how safety matters so much to the community. Once you start bringing in people to the community, and you have more eyes out there, you have more people out there, people involved in crime don't want people around. They'll find another place to go commit crimes. Well, hey, it's not working over here because everybody's watching, everybody's calling. It's more hassle than it's worth. You can ask these guys. I mean, they talk about all the calls that they otherwise crime goes unpunished, right? So yes, I see what you're saying is going to work. Our belief is it will. We've taken the risk before in communities that we think are, marginal communities at best. That's not the case in Buckroe. I mean, this is a good, solid community. I mean, look at all the people from the neighborhood watch. It's a good, solid community. So to answer your question, absolutely, we think it's going to work.
I think that you guys have a lot of questions, and we want to hear your questions and answer them. I just want to go through what the project is, so you can know, and then you could ask detailed questions, and also give Trevor a break, because he said all that in one breath. He's treated. So I'm gonna go straight to the details, because this is what you want to know, right? You want to know what the project is, right? So, right here on that block, and I'm gonna go to the aerial. So one at a time. This lot by the fishing pier is gonna be a mix of, when you see the big boxes, these are single family homes, and these are townhomes. Okay?
I can't see I can't see where you're.
Just point.
Here, these are single family homes
Right.
and townhomes. So the lot, this is the lot.
Right.
Okay? This lot here, again, single family homes in the front, townhomes. So now you're finishing that area, it's all gonna be all new streets, all new sidewalks, all new lighting, all new infrastructure. Here, which is this lot right there. This lot right here, okay? The city originally wanted to put a parking garage there, we don't agree with it, because you don't want a beautiful location of a parking garage. So what we designed was cost a lot more money, but I think it works. Because one thing you learn about us, one of the projects that make the area better. So is building the apartment buildings around and putting the parking structure in the middle, so you don't see the parking structure, or you see the apartments. So something like this, but you don't see the parking structure. okay? So that's that lot. Then this lot here, not including the apartment building, because that's not included, is all townhomes. Okay? Again, Seaboard's gonna be all finished, new streets, new curb, new gutter, new tree line, street, everything. It's gonna be all finished with townhomes. Townhomes. Now, here, this lot here, which I'm gonna show you where it is, which is Coastal Way, second and first, is gonna be a mixture of single-family homes and townhomes. And we actually recommended to the city to also develop this lot, and the reason why, if you look at their pattern book or their master plan book that was done before, they have Buckroe Avenue as the retail corridor, where they have the mixed-use corridor. So we studied the pattern book before we designed any of this, we studied the master plan. So what we said to them is, if we develop this lot also, you're gonna see what's gonna happen is it's gonna start the retail development for Buckroe Avenue. That's what you want. You want to create amenities for the area as well. Just to go back to something I missed and I should have said, all this here is going to have retail stores, retail footprint, square footage, because you need to bring some amenities for the area, like a coffee shop. One thing we're not going to put in is an ice cream shop, because we support the ice cream shop across the street. And that's something that we would not include, but we would include like sundries, coffee shops.
Restaurants.
I like Buckroe Coffee, we've already spoken about putting on a location out there. They do a really good job, and I like their coffee. So that, instead of going through the whole proposal, now you guys have an idea of the development. So now I know you guys have questions.
And real quick, when we say luxury homes, luxury apartments, we're not talking about McMansions. We're just talking very much in the vein of what H.H. Hunt built, and those are, they're going to be decent sized, probably the single family homes in the 2,500 square foot range, and the townhomes in the 18 to 2,000 square foot range. Price points the townhomes somewhere from 350 to 400 range, and then the homes probably in the 550 range, and they'll probably go a little bit higher. So it's not all of a sudden you have these big giant mansions down there. That doesn't work.
I didn't answer that question, I just wanted to ask that question, so. Yeah, we have one gentleman back there.
Friday afternoons, I find it difficult to leave this area because of traffic congestion. What do you plan on doing to alleviate the traffic problem?
So that's a great question. That's something we have to work out with the city.
But one thing to do answer is, one of the requirements that we're doing is, so some of the streets in the blocks are very, very narrow, and that creates also a bottleneck. In our development, just so you can see, all these streets, I know you can't see that, are all 50-foot wide streets with parking on each side. So that creates a lot more flow. That will alleviate some of the traffic congestion.
I'm talking about Mallory and Mercury Boulevard.
Somebody had a great idea to turn one of the lanes into so that would have even less.
That's out of our pay grade. That's not part of our pay grade.
But it will be a concern, not only for us, but the city will have that concern if we were to move forward, once we get into traffic studies.
Can you show me where your townhouses back up to those apartments and the trailer parks, so I can see exactly where it would, the luxury apartments and townhouses back up to the trailer park?
Or the trailer park?
Yeah, the trailer park.
This is the trailer park.
Okay, so right next to, so right here, you're gonna build, these $400,000, $500,000 house.
No, so the townhouses are rated between 350 to 425, 400, excuse me. And single family homes are
550-ish.
And so when you look out the window, you're gonna see the trailer park.
Again, I know exactly what you're saying, and you think nobody's going to buy it. I mean, the risk falls on us. We don't build every house day one. It kind of works its way out, but we've done it before. We have a luxury apartment building that we're going to be building here in probably the next year and a half in Norfolk. That is right across the street from a trailer park. That we can't buy because it just changed hands. Again, they're cash cows. So nobody will ever sell it.
Can you go back to the lot on, Buckroe and First Street you were talking about, and what was gonna be there?
Okay, so I'm gonna go to the lot.
Buckroe and First Street.
Buckroe Avenue, First Street and Second Street, right here. So this is, it will be just a few townhouses, it's not a big lot, so we're not filling it up. Just some singles and townhomes, just to start the development for the Buckroe Avenue.
So no retail in there?
No, no retail there, 'cause we want all the people to put money on, we want this to start being a better retail.
But showing the retail, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 10,000 square feet of retail.
So this is, so that's Buckroe Avenue first, this is right here at the roundabout, the fishing pier is right here. There will be between about 10,000 square feet plus or minus of retail there, because you don't have any retail there. We don't want to cannibalize the retailers here. We want them to get the upside.
I agree.
Yeah.
But what's happened in the past, regardless of the developer, but we've seen it, what's happened in the past is when you build out these communities and you bring in people, because, there's gonna be a lot of people, and I understand your concern, there's gonna be a lot more people. But when you look at it from a retail standpoint, a lot of your retail, is probably relatively seasonal, or you don't have a lot of retail back here. I live down at the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, and forever, the retail at the oceanfront has been seasonal. Over the last decade, they've built apartments down there. There's a lot of homes that they built apartments down there. And now the retail is 12 months out of the year. In order to get more retailers back here, you have to have the people to go to those retailers. And in order to have all year round retailers, you've got to have a fair amount of people that will frequent this area. And then, you go to Phoebus, and I can remember once upon a time, Phoebus was not the greatest place to go. And Phoebus is super cool. It reminds me of the railroad district in Norfolk. And there's a couple other places that it's really cool. It's hip. It brings in the younger people. You want to bring in the younger people, brings in, more people with disposable income, and then the community continues to build. So if you look at it sort of bookends from, Buckroe Beach and Phoebus, this whole area can really transform. It happened, again, in Ocean View happened, where you had East Beach and sort of the development we did there, and then you had Bay Oaks Park, which is another park that they have that was a big development that was done. And it kind of enclosed that area there, which was the really bad part of the community, where nobody would walk down the streets. Now everybody's walking their dogs all the time. It's one of those neighborhoods where people walk back and forth. People know their neighbors, they hang out, it's safe. It's the same thing that can happen here.
So if I may, I would like to walk you guys through the mindset of how we develop this master plan. So and then you can give us feedback, but I want you to understand our mindset. So what we did, and I was coming here a lot way before we started developing things. I was coming at different times of the year. When they built the boardwalk, we put it in this chair, which I love to sit on and swing now. I'm just trying to have lunch, sit there and just understand what's there different parts of the year. And it's such a beautiful place. It's really a beautiful place, but it never felt like a community to me, even though I'm saying that here with you guys, right? So understand what I'm saying. So I said, I went back to the office to Trevor, I said, Buckroe is a jewel. It's an absolute jewel. It's probably one of the nicest places in the area up and down the East Coast, in my opinion. Beautiful beach. Even I did this triathlon when they had it, and I got killed by jellyfish in the summer. It's a beautiful beach. But there's no, a lot of people have to drive to come to it, and parking is not easy. There's no amenities here. I wanted to grab a cup of coffee, I needed to drive. And there's no housing stock here for people who want to buy and live here. It could be people who are moving to the area, people who live in the area. A lot of empty nesters who are looking to downsize or looking to move to the beach want to be in this area. So we went back and we developed this with the one mindset. This is very important for you guys to hear. What's the most important mindset? Community. If you build something, people have community. What does it create? Which is the most important thing of any development. What's the number one thing that the community creates? Can anybody answer that question? It's safety. And that's what our goal is safety. We want people to walk outside their house, and the reason why let me walk you through this, why we did it this way. The reason why we did townhouses and single-family homes first is because you create ownership. And when people have ownership, there's stakeholders in the area, they have skin in the game, so when they're walking across the street and they see something, they're gonna call, or they're gonna know their neighbor. And that's important. Then you add rentals, for people who wanna live here are not familiar with Buckroe. Buckroe has still a stigma for people who are not familiar with Buckroe, but once they start living here, this is a nice place, this is safe. What do they become after they go out of the apartments? They become stakeholders. So now they're growing into the neighborhood. So that's the phase of creating an area that has community and safety. And then you bring the retail, because right now, the city meets with us and they're like, oh, put retail. I'm like, what retailer is gonna survive there? Tell me, what retailer is going to survive there? The retail stores here are struggling, and you want them to survive all year round. But if you bring people, if you bring the community, retailers are going to not only survive, but they're going to flourish. And now you're creating an area that people want to be and live in, and create a safety area. So that's our mindset. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, my friend was trying to ask earlier, and they don't really, but there's a lot of historical, around here, a lot of history, and one is the Bay Shore area, and the Bay Shore Hotel, and how is that going to be preserved? I mean, how is the historical part of this not going to be overrun with buildings and, the saying, paved paradise?
So,
Is what it sounds like to me, we're paving paradise.
but I just want to say one part, then we can figure it out. That's a very good question, and that's the reason why we didn't get we weren't picked over the other group first, because they added double the size of our project, and we don't feel that this area needs that. You don't want to see buildings upon buildings, you don't want to see two parking structures. You want to keep it low. When I say low, I'm talking about roof lines low.
Okay, but that's not, I thought you meant about the historical history of this area. How is that?
I was going to the Bay Shore.
Yeah, so she had asked me the same question, so I saw you guys having a conversation earlier. So what we did is, we understood it, we respect the history, it was the only African-American resort from New York down to Georgia. And everybody came here once upon a time, and it was, we have the old pictures and postcards, and it's really cool. As an homage to that, we call our apartment building the Bay Shore. So we understand that. We were trying to pay respect to the interiors that we were gonna do, the designs in the common areas, we're gonna have pictures of what it used to look like. Again, that's great for the apartment building. You have the monument that's there, and it's a beautiful monument. We had talked to the city, not in great detail, but mentioned, hey, can we build something bigger there, bigger monument to, again, is a larger, more important homage to the Bay Shore and the history of that area right there. So we did understand, we knew about it, we understood it, we respected it. I don't know a lot about the group that came before us. I think that they had something built in there too. So again, I don't know anything about them, and I can say whatever I thought about their development once I found out what it was. But they had also respected the history of that area. So it's important to us that is represented, and perhaps represented in even a larger scale than it is right now. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, thank you.
You mentioned a hotel?
So originally, the plan was, for the original plan, when we did it pre-COVID, and even after COVID, we had a hotel component there. And we had one of the better hotelers in the area who had signed on as a business partner. Now that would have been the last part of it, because you have to build everything else, and you have to get the retail amenities and have more people there. And then the hotel would have been the last component of our project. In working with the city, eventually they came back and said, maybe we should scrap the hotel. And we were happy to do that, because, it still would have been a heavy lift, and it could have taken longer than we had anticipated to get a hotel back there. Do I think it would work back there? I'm not a hoteler. I look at it and say, well, it's on the waterfront, hotels should work. But once you get into hotel and the details of how hotels work, it still would have been probably a bit of a heavy lift.
Have y'all considered, since you wanna bring all these people in, putting up a dog park? Because the people that usually live in apartments that have dogs and don't have no space, so what about a dog?
So we've done that before, so, like little small areas where dogs will go out there and have astroturf and they can do their business. And then, I don't know what the rules are for the beaches here. I know what they're down in Virginia Beach where you can have dogs down there until 10 o'clock. Nobody really follows that rule anymore, they're there all the time. As long as people take care of the pets, do their business. But yes, it would be one of the amenities that we have.
Yeah, those are important amenities.
Also, real quick, EVs, you have so many EVs, he and I both drive EVs, to have EV charging stations. I mean, there's gonna be more and more of those. Regardless of who the maker of it is, there's gonna be more and more EVs that are gonna be coming on the market. You have a question?
Well, more of a statement too. I'm a small real estate investor that invests in the area.
Okay.
And I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see more development on the waterfront and hope they can reconsider making more retail spaces. I actually reached out to choose the gas. I'd like to know if you all have an anchor spot for something like that. I don't think that we want to be like Virginia Beach, but if
No, you don't want to be
some kind of anchor restaurant in conjunction with some other mom and pop or retail spaces on the waterfront as well.
Yeah,
Is there space for that?
not for a cheesecake factory, no. So, and I'll let Peter get into details of this a little bit, and then I'll explain something else.
We would love to have a strong credit retailer be interested in this area. The first phase, anybody will say yes, we'll go after it. The first phase, you're not gonna have strong retailers interested in the area because it's not seasoned for retail. But when you build the 10,000 square feet right on the ocean front and you start developing Buckroe Avenue and you start pushing, the retail start opening up and making money, that's when you start getting seasoned and interested in stronger retail. I like personally, we have a program too, one of our programs that we have for our company, and I'll share with you, we like to support local retailers that do a good job, like Buckroe Coffee. I think that, I actually mentioned them, I like it.
It's not a restaurant.
We're gonna find another restaurant that's a local owner and supports them. We're not gonna open up an ice cream shop because I think she does a great job and we want to support her. And one of the programs that we have is and this is that you have to give back. It's very important. After success is us giving back to people who are new to the business, they're trying to start a business, and we help them with their build outs, we give them lease concessions, that means free rent for a period of time to get on their feet, and help them become successful also with SBA loans, and then we give them space so they can grow their business. And why not support a retailer who makes pizza, who makes a coffee shop, who has sundries and other goodies that we want. I'd rather have that than a cheesecake factory personally, but.
The Selden Market in Norfolk, is that what that's called?
The Selden Market has a small shops of incubators that allow them to go on the market. We know the Selden Market very well. We support the incubators, all the library cities is important for us. That's why this program is out of our own company that we support new start businesses. But we have a retail in Norfolk that we're pushing a local pizza guy to go from a truck, he has a food truck. We say, your pizza is so good, now try drinking water, let us help you. Why not?
We did have an online question again. What about beach parking? That was a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
So, that's a very good question, and that's something that we run back and forth with the city, and we explain to them that parking is very important, but not over parking. Parking, people who want to come to the beach have to be able to find parking and not drive around and leave with their families. We want to stay that want to come here. So what we're doing is, like I said, and I'm putting up this picture for you guys. So these streets, Seaboard, are narrow. They're going to be wide and they're going to be 50-foot streets, which are going to have both sides parking.
Yeah, so you'll have on-street parking on both sides.
Then the parking garage here we're not going maximum on the residential, the rental. We're keeping it at about 150 units because we want any additional parking spaces for the parking structure are gonna go to beachgoers. And then if you include that with all the parking from the development on the street, it's about 285 additional parking spaces that don't exist today.
So that's 280 parking, and then it's about the same in the parking garage. So it's about 560 additional parking spots.
What about the buses that the city bought to transport people down here?
That's another story. I'll
Yeah,
speak
we're
on
not
that.
familiar with that. Yes, ma'am.
They didn't mention that they had 2 buses when they were talking about developing down here? Wow.
They haven't used them.
I
Have you
know,
guys considered,
once, I saw them one weekend.
have you guys considered retail and housing, housing on top of the retail?
So it would be in the apartment buildings, that's where it is, but no, we don't have the house, and we know what you're talking about, it's a great concept, we have sort of the office downstairs, and then like a house above, right, like a condo or a tenement above it. We're very familiar, it doesn't, we're not using that in our project.
And Buckroe Avenue, the reason we wanted to develop that lot on Buckroe Avenue first is because if you look at the pattern book, the master plan pattern book that Hamptons did a while ago, they want Buckroe Avenue to become.
But that's what they were speaking about, back in.
The mixed use development corridor, so having streets on the ground floor and 2 apartments on top. Yeah, I think Buckroe Avenue would be perfect for that, the street is perfect.
How tall are these parking garages? How many stories?
It's 4 stories.
4 stories?
Just the apartment building, and that's built around, the apartments are built around the parking garage. The parking garage itself is only 2 stories.
2.5.
Joe?
Yeah, just real quick, what's your anticipated retail footprint out of these 10,000 square feet retail space? Like, how much will each one be?
That's a good question. You don't know until you start going after retailers. Some might be 1,500, some might be 800, some might be 2,500. Obviously, you always want to have at least 1 or 2 bigger ones, like 2,500 square feet. It's going to be very hard in the beginning. It's probably an average about 1,500 square feet each.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's been the real hurdle, is getting small businesses the opportunity to move in spaces.
That's 800 square foot, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have, because the small businesses and the local businesses are going to bring people here. And that's the reality.
Yeah, and then also, like Peter said, the pathway to success, what's the biggest barrier to opening a business? I mean, when you first start to rent, you know you have to pay the rent. The other stuff, you don't necessarily have to pay. If you slow things down, you have to. Just imagine opening a business and you get your first year of rent for free. And you get a build out, help to build out too.
We don't advertise that to everybody, but that's usually what happens. Because we also want to have some paid tenants, because that's a little hard for us too. But most of the local are rent free for a year. Question?
So just to recap, y'all don't have this, it's gone, you have to take this back to the city. I mean, what is kind of the timeline?
The timeline is, it's not our timeline, it's the city's timeline right now. You know, quite frankly, what we'd like to do is to put together, support from the community, letters of support. So either the city follows through their plan of going through with an RFP, or we come with such great support that perhaps they'll consider, hey, you know what? The community likes it, you know, these guys are, we hope that they think that we're good and easy to work with. You know, maybe we should just go back and start working with them again.
So you had said they wanted to go back to the master.
From what we've been told,
Yeah.
that's, the plan is to revamp, take another look at the master plan, maybe do a revamp, and then see where they come out from there, and then perhaps.
So you don't know what their timeline, when you would propose this again to them?
No, we don't. We were told a timeline, a potential timeline. I think that timeline is passed. So, we don't.
But we're not, that's a good question. I don't want you to think we're gonna sit on our hands. The reason why we're here, number one, we wanted to come see you guys before they put the Jaguar on us. And we had to follow because we signed for it. And after this, like Trevor said, we want to get a lot of support and then go back to this and be like, hey, the community wants this, people want this. Why are you delaying it? You know, what's the problem? You guys are very lucky because you do have some council members who are very involved and really care about what goes on with you guys. And they come and attend your meetings. So you're very lucky to have that. Not every community, not every civic league, not every council member goes out there and supports the lady that I support here. I want you guys to know that.
Well, they come, I don't know that they support, but they're right.
Just by coming, you support it.
You question, and I'll get to you, sir.
I have two
Okay.
questions. Once you get approval on everything, which it sounds like you're gonna be heading that direction, what's your potential build-out time?
So that's a great question. I don't know if we're potentially going, we thought we were potentially going forward once upon a time, so who knows if it'll ever come back or get it. But I think our initial timeline was around 5 years, right?
Yeah, for the full project.
Now, that's subject to change.
One more question,
Yeah.
please. I see the map, it's kind of fast going and such, but the roads, we live in the older part of Buckroe, and the roads are like this big, right?
Yeah.
And I heard what you said, that you're gonna expand, but there, we've got, Bay Shore, and then we've got Atlantic, and we've got Seabrook, the other direction. like
Yes.
that. So thank you. So where are you gonna go to expand these roads? How are you gonna do that?
So
When
when,
it's so tight in there.
yeah, so if you were to look at it, the road itself is just part of the property that the city owns. It owns way out into, that is the right of way right there, but it owns way far
Can
out.
you be specific, I don't, sorry,
Sure.
to interrupt. Can you be specific about which road?
Well, the best road is, to give that an example, Seaboard.
Okay,
The Seaboard's, like a driveway, it's incredibly narrow, so
Yeah.
zoom in.
and Seaboard will go into the development, you'll have like side roads going into the development.
That's right.
The Seaboard has got some space on each side, actually.
That's
except
right.
for the houses on that one side. And then, I'm sorry, one more question. The way I understood it, behind the 7-Eleven, that big field, that's part of the development also?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. My questions have been answered.
Okay.
Anybody else, if you could ask questions, and then we're gonna try to wrap up, because we are about an hour.
Yes, sir.
I've been here 3 years. I love it. I grew up in Ocean View. I know the success that Kenny Alexander had. He's a very good mayor. He got a lot of people behind him. East Beach is phenomenal from all the way down. But we've got the same potential all the way to the end. We've got the same. Unfortunately, I don't know whether it's the mayor or the council, but they're impotent. And we've been dealing with this. Nobody really wants to bring this up. But ask these people here in the condos and the houses, how much personal property taxes they pay. We don't get the bang for the buck. We're not leaving, so we're hoping that y'all are the answer. But it's like, we don't want smoke and mirrors, and I don't think that's what you are. I'm not saying, kind of venting, because I just think council has let us down over and over and over. And this is part, I just say be aware, because since I've been here, ain't shit happened.
Well, I'll say this,
And they've said a lot of things, we're gonna, personal property taxes went up, but they didn't do any. When I first got here, they doubled the size of the beach, okay? That's phenomenal, the boardwalk, that's phenomenal. They started the project, and then they stopped.
Mhm.
And it needs to be here, because in the summer, you don't go out after dark.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, you don't do it.
And I'll say this, I don't live here, so I can't talk about council. I will say that all the council members we met with and the mayor were incredibly generous with their time with us. They were very upfront with us and communicative with us. So again, I understand you have different sensitivities because you live here.
What has happened, we've got the police presence down here, and they put a little substation down there. It's great. There's nothing better than being there, and it does see a police car come down the boardwalk. That negates so many issues. I've always said, you could have it unmanned, just go back and forth, and it would do a lot of good. Just their being here and seeing it helps. It's only at night when it becomes a Wild West, and nobody wants to be here.
So I know we're tight on time, so just to wrap a bow on it, Peter and I are happy to stay out there and answer questions. To wrap a bow on it, it's interesting that you say that. If you have to, and I give all the credit for both of my kids, the godfathers are Virginia Beach police officers, so love police officers. But think about this from a community standpoint. A couple of things. It's nice to hear the report. You have 5 to 8 shots fired. This is not a huge area. 5 to 8 shots fired. That's a lot And to have the substation here is fantastic, and these guys keep you safe, it's fantastic. But ask yourself, why do you have a substation? There's not one in Ocean View. There's not one at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. There should be about 4 at the Virginia Beach oceanfront, but there's none at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. So ask yourself why. Because, you know, and you have some of these kids, and kids will be kids. I was an idiot kid, that's why I ended up as an enlisted Marine. You know, they're gonna go out there and have parties, but when the parties get crazy and violent, you know, and I never thought about this until I started doing business with Peter. He told me this great thing. I always looked at vacant land like, oh, it's vacant land, it's beautiful. And he once told me it was like an anomaly, you know, or not an anomaly, but like an epiphany. He said, vacant land calls for crime. People are gonna come and commit crimes, and the community suffers. If you build a community, again, we've seen it, we've done it, we've been involved with it. You build a community provides safety. You have all these eyes on it. Everybody's there. As I said at the very beginning, criminals don't want, you can tell me if I'm wrong, criminals don't want people around. That's difficult to commit crime with people around watching. When you bring in, you build out the community, great things happen. The crime gets pushed out. You know, you're not gonna have a lot of gunshots. You're not gonna have, I watched your last meeting where you have, you know, this bus come down and they're helping out, you know, the people, the addicts and stuff like that, homeless. And ask yourself, why are you in Buckroe Beach?
Yeah, really.
You shouldn't have that issue in Buckroe Beach. I'm hopeful someday that you don't have that issue anywhere, but if you go around the country, where is it? It's usually like more towards the inner cities and the downtown areas. This is an incredibly beautiful coastal community. Peter said it. You know, he came down here about 10 years ago and was like, I've never seen anything like this. You know, but then you see the issues that you have to deal with in some of these communities. I just ask you guys, look at Ocean View. You know Ocean View. Look at Ocean View. It is night and day from what it used to be. And it had, take East Beach, put East Beach to the side. The other communities, part of the community, it is night and day. And you had an active, Kenny's a great guy. Kenny did a great job. The councilman over there, Tommy Smeagol, has done, he's bucked the system and gone against the system. And Ocean View is, you look at downtown Norfolk and everybody thinks downtown Norfolk is very slow. People are leaving downtown Norfolk. Ocean View is completely different. It's the one part of Norfolk that's been growing and getting better. That can happen here. Whether it's us or some other developer, we think it's us. We think we have the best plan, and we're incredibly vested, both financially, but time-wise. And then, you know, Peter and I are out here all the time, and some of you guys, Joe, you were, you know, with us from the beginning, from pre-COVID, I think. We've been here, you know, and we're going to continue to be here. We want this project. We've already sunk a lot of money into it twice, and they said no both times. We're sinking more time and energy because we think we're the best developers and we have the best development proposal. So hopefully you guys, we're going to ask if you guys would consider writing a letter of support. You know, you guys don't have to tell us. You can let Cody know if you guys are willing to do that. We're always open. Like I said, Peter and I will stick around and answer any questions. But you do have great council members that care about the community. Take time. It's Monday at 10 o'clock. I mean, you know, her full-time job is not being a council member. The council can't see her. You know, you have good council members. Just tell them what you want. Whether it's us or anything, tell them what you want, and you know that's their job is to listen to you.
Trevor put it perfectly, and I'm not adding anything to it. I just want to address something you said. It bothers me when you say you don't go out at night. That's what bothers me.
No, I still do.
But you know what I mean.
I'm saying, it does bother me that, you know, initially, I had older grandparents, I said, we all stick together and y'all walk to Little Leagues and get, you know, something to drink.
That's what I'm trying to
do. But you're in that bothers me a lot.
It bothers me because I want you to walk at night,
Right.
safe, comfortable, say hello to your neighbor, walk, get ice cream, get coffee, and that's become a community that's not afraid to leave the house now. That's why we're doing this. That's the number one thing that's gonna happen here. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you, guys. You're hanging around, is that correct? Yeah, we'll hang around. They're hanging around, so if you guys have questions, you can ask them.
I think I missed the best part of the meeting.
You can always watch it.
Okay.
I'll post it on